In this video, we're going to be talking about solving equations with two variables, and those two variables are going to be x and y. So it will typically tell you to solve for either x or y. I am going to have you guys always solve for y. So for our first example, if we have something like 3x plus 15y is equal to negative 135, it's just like a two-step equation, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So if we have, let's say like 5 plus 2x is equal to 11, I have to first move what's not with my variable that I want to isolate. So I would minus 5, and I would get 2x is equal to 6, and then I would divide by what was with my variable that I was trying to isolate, right? Same thing here. We first have to get rid of this whole term because we're trying to isolate y. So to get rid of that whole term, we do the opposite of what's out here. So we have to subtract 3x. So over here, we're gonna minus 3x. So now I have 15y is equal to negative 135 minus 3x. Now that I have just this term on that side, I can go ahead and divide by 15. I'm undoing that multiplication, so I divide. Really, 15 divided by 15 is 1. So now I have 1y, which I write like that. But because I divided this by 15, I have to divide this whole side by 15. And I can do this by breaking it up and dividing each of them by 15. So I would say negative 135 divided by 15 minus 3x divided by 15. So then it becomes y is equal to a negative 9, if you do that, minus this doesn't come out to be a whole number, it's actually a fraction, so we'll keep it as that fraction. And that is how you would solve for y. I'll show you another one. All right. When we have something like 4y minus 4x is equal to 16, because I'm trying to solve for y, I have to get rid of that other term that's with it. In this case, we're subtracting 4x. So I will add 4x to both sides. Because it's not like terms, I can't combine them. It gets rid of it on this side of the equal sign. And then I have to put it at the end of what's already here on that side of the equal sign. And then we solve for y. To get rid of my 4, I would divide by 4. I divide this by 4, and I divide that by 4. So y is equal to 4 plus x. And I have solved for y. I'll show you just a couple more, because it's always good practice. So if we have 20x minus 12y is equal to negative 108. Same thing, I'm trying to solve for my y. So whatever term is not with my y, I need to get rid of that first. I'm gonna do the opposite of it. And I wanna point out that I'm doing the opposite of adding and not the opposite of timesing, because I'm not trying to separate my 20 and my x, I'm moving them together. So because of that, I move them by subtracting 20x so they stay together, okay? If I was trying to separate my 20 and my x, I would divide, but I'm not. So I minus 20x from that side, so I'll minus 20x from this side. I have still my negative 12y. Always remember to take that sign in front. Minus negative 12y is equal to negative 108 minus 20x. Now everything needs to be divided by negative 12. This is what I am doing the opposite of, not this. So divide by a negative 12, divide by a negative 12, we get y is equal to a negative divided by a negative will be a positive. 108 divided by 12 is going to be 9. Also, a negative divided by a negative will be a positive. 20 is divisible by 4 and 12 is divisible by 4, so we'll have 5x over 3. So 5/3 x. And would be our answer. I'm gonna go ahead and show you one more. Just because I think it'll be good. So 10x minus 6y is equal to a negative 48. All right, so we know that we're solving for y. So I'm gonna minus 10x, minus 10x. Now really, I've told you guys you always put it behind what's already there. If you were to squeeze it in the front, you just have to make sure that those values are still the same. So negative 6y is equal to, if I wanted to put my x first, I could go ahead and put my x first like this, minus 48. And then when I divide by my negative 6, divide by my negative 6 and divide by my negative 6, then I will see that y is equal to, negative divided by negative is a positive, so this number turns to be positive, and they're both divisible by 2, so it reduces down to 5/3 x. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, and then 48 divided by 6 is 8. And that would be my answer. So realize this is equal to this, all right? Which is what we would have gotten had we left the negative 10x here. I just want to show you guys, if you're squeezing it in the middle, you have to make sure that you keep that value the same. And it would only work in adding and subtracting. If you're dividing, it has to go at the end, okay? Because that order matters. So for now, we are just solving for y.